and get started. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the SRES monthly webinar titled Designing and Building Sustainable Homes That Make Life Easier, a look inside the Universal Design Living Laboratory. First, I would like to introduce myself. I am Alyssa Rogowski, the SRES Membership Coordinator, and I want to thank everyone for being a part of this free member benefit. I am pleased to introduce our speaker, Rosemarie Rossetti, PhD, an internationally known speaker, writer, and consultant who works with realtors, design professionals, builders, remodelers, and consumers to help them integrate universal design and green building features into their projects. Rossetti and her husband, Mark Letter, are the general contractors, owners, and inhabitants of the Universal Design Living Laboratory. The format for today's SRES webinar is as follows. Rosemarie will give about a 30-minute presentation, followed by 15 minutes for questions. If you have a question during the presentation or while we are taking questions at the end, please type them in the chat box. At the end of the presentation, I will read the questions aloud to the speaker and read as many as time permits. The webinar is recorded and will be available for you to view at your convenience in the Members section of our website, seniorsrealestate.com, under Webinars. Please allow a few days for editing and posting. Thank you for being a part of this SRES member benefit, and at this time, I would like to hand it over to Rosemarie.
Well, thank you, Alyssa. It's my pleasure to be here among all the professional real estate advisors out there. I hope that my program today gives you a competitive edge to be able to sell homes faster and to sell more homes. We're going to be taking a lot of notes today as I share the Universal Design Living Laboratory with you. This is the home that my husband and I built and live in. It was a long project. It took us 32 months to build it. We were the general contractors, having never built a home before. It took us a long time. We're going to go inside and take a close look at the home to showcase universal design features. These are features that make life a lot easier. This home is very sustainable in terms of the green component, but it's also very accessible. As you saw in the photo of myself, I use a wheelchair for mobility, and this house has made my life so much easier. My life changed in an instant on June 13th of 1998, and you're seeing on the screen the bicycle trail as well as the crushed helmet and the headlines from that tragic day. We were on a bike ride. It was a beautiful day on a Saturday on our 3rd wedding anniversary when suddenly a 7,000-pound tree fell in the bike trail and landed right on top of me, immediately injuring me with a spinal cord injury, breaking my neck and breaking my back, leaving me paralyzed instantly from the waist down. So it's been 17 years now living life with a spinal cord injury, utilizing a wheelchair for mobility and understanding how the home environment intensified my disability. The home that I was living in at the time was a 2-story home, so half of it was inaccessible to me because I can't climb stairs. We had to put this electric porch lift at the front entrance so I could at least get into the home. None of the doors were accommodating me. They all had steps, and as well as the steps to the basement. So 50% of my home was absolutely inaccessible to me, and it frustrated me, intensifying my disability. We knew we had to move. We knew there were no possible modifications that would make this home livable for my lifetime. So we began the journey in 2004, hiring an architect to help us as we decided what this home needed to look like, not only for us, but to share it with others so that other people could learn from what we were doing. We then created the Universal Design Living Laboratory as a national demonstration home and garden. We're located in Columbus, Ohio, and you can take a virtual tour. Thanks to our Google partner, they took over 700 photos inside and outside the home, so that anytime you can go to our website on the screen, udll.com, just the initials, udll.com, and click on our virtual tour. There's lots of other resources and videos there, articles, as well as our list of all of the contributors. These are international corporations that partnered with us. We had over 200 of them as contributors to the building of the Universal Design Living Laboratory. So this is a companion website for today's presentation. The home has a LEED certification. It received a silver certification. It also received a gold certification on the National Association of Home Builders, the Green Building Certification Program. So this home is also, besides universal design, a very green and sustainable home. We are the top-rated home in North America on universal design, having earned these 3 highest-rating national universal design certifications. If you have not heard of the term universal design, I want to spend a little time understanding it. It is a framework. It is an approach to design of products and environments to be usable by all people, the greatest extent possible, the majority of the population, without any need for adaptation or specialized design. The man in the photograph is Ron Mace. He is an architect. In the 1980s, when he was around, he was the one who coined the term universal design. He used a wheelchair for mobility due to polio as a child. So we credit Ron Mace with the idea as he came up with the 7 principles of universal design and started his movement forward. Universal design is about leveling the playing field for all people. It is not about ADA. ADA does not have anything to do with residential design unless it is federal money. And in fact, ADA is a minimal approach. It's the minimum requirements as you're looking at commercial application. Universal design should be transparent. When people come through our home, they should just recognize this home as a beautiful home and not one that was just especially designed for a woman in a wheelchair. The people who have been through, we've had over 2,000 people on tours so far, have all embraced the concept of open rooms and flexibility of space. So that's what universal design is, not only in homes, but all environments, not only the environment, but the products inside. We're going to look at establishing the need for universal design as the beginning. I have a photograph of my mother here, Rose Rossetti, when she was alive, living in an assisted living center. You probably can relate to this also, you know, someone with advanced aging, or you've seen it in yourself, with what changes as we get older in terms of our strength and our vision, our mental health, our flexibility. My mother had an advanced stage of dementia. She lived to be 98 years old. Her mobility was impaired, and she used a walker to get around. But as we think about aging and we think about living in our home and our environment, what our idea is to create the environment so that it helps us as we age, so that we can stay in that environment safely and be accommodated as long as possible. I'd like to point out a study that was revealed in August of 2015. This was a joint research project with Century 21 and the Easter Seals Foundation. They looked at people with disabilities, and they did a home buying survey that is particularly relevant to your audience. They said that 1 in 5 home buyers with a disability are not getting the proper assistance from Realtors. The people with disabilities have a very strong need and a desire for the real estate agents to be trained and knowledgeable about accessible housing. They also said that about half of the home buyers with the disabilities are having difficulty finding a home that meets their needs. We just can't seem to search very well, finding the homes that have the accommodations that are needed for people with disabilities. We also looked at the Journal of American Planning Association. Their research in 2000 showed that 60% will house at least one disabled resident in the detached single-family homes. 91% of these homes will have at least one disabled resident or a visitor during its expected lifetime. The study also goes on to say that there's a 25% chance that the house will eventually house a resident with a self-care limitation. So we're also seeing more than 90% of the U.S. housing units are inaccessible for people with disabilities. And I'm sure you can understand that from your extensive experience selling homes and listing homes, understanding that the population is not well served and it's hard to find a home that accommodates us. So as you look at housing, the American Housing Survey in 2009 came up with this information. About a quarter of the older households in the age range of 65 to 74, and nearly two-thirds of households with a member 85 years old or older included someone with a disability. This study also showed that the older population have health issues which are going to drive up the demand for modified housing and supportive services. They said the existing and emerging policies can help these older adults continue to live in their own homes as they age. And what a better quality of life if we could stay in our homes for a long time versus going to an assisted living or nursing. It's also a lot less expensive in addition to the quality of life. As I looked at some of the trends affecting the future, we look at the baby boomer population. They're getting older with some very predictable consequences regarding their health and mobility. They're having surgeries. Perhaps you're one of them in terms of hip or knee surgery to help improve mobility. Many of these baby boomers are starting to acquire walkers and canes and wheelchairs to be more independent in their environment. The universal home design modifications are going to be needed to help them stay in their home. They're going to have to be building new homes, new condos, and modifying existing homes to include universal design features. And we're seeing more multi-generational families living together to help take care of each other in this aging process. So with that in mind, let's look forward at your particular needs. As you have a new home listing, I wanted to explore the idea of when you put your new home listing together in your multiple listings, are you highlighting the universal design features to help in the marketing? If people indeed are looking for homes with a visitable entrance, or at least one entrance without any steps, if they're looking for a ramp into the home from the garage, if they're looking for curbless showers, or they're looking for 36-inch wide doors with 32-inch clearance, are you describing your new listing in the multiple listings to load the listing to have these features in there by putting in many photos? What I've got for you today in this presentation is a special report, so stay tuned. I'm going to give you information to download a free special report to help you with your next listing. What I have are the universal design features room by room in the Universal Design Living Laboratory. So not only is it helpful in your business and marketing approach, it becomes your handout for today's presentation, showing you these universal design features. So stay tuned till the end, and I'll tell you where that free downloaded special report can be accessed. The MLS documentation for accessibility features we've been seeing have been woefully short. And so what we need to do nationally is improve our ability to design documentation to show the accessibility features and to do a better job with the photographs to let those home buyers see what's out there as they're looking. Now let's take a close look. We're going to take a look inside the Universal Design Living Laboratory. This is our front entrance. The features that we were looking for was that it be a very easily approachable home, not with any visible ramp. It's actually a very smooth, subtle grade of a 1 in 20 slope, very welcoming and very easy. It has a motion light that comes on at night, and it's a beautiful entrance with a 36-inch wide door. Taking a look at the virtual tour, when you go to udll.com and click on virtual tour, this is what you're going to see, the first vision of our house. I wanted to remind you, you just take your computer and your mouse and you go right into the front door, and then you can travel throughout the house. There's over 700 photos that were stitched together for the panoramic view. So I encourage you after today's presentation to explore this home on your own as you look at the Universal Design Living Laboratory. Opening the front door for a closer look, you can see that we have multiple height peepholes on the door with the door glass, making it accommodating for a tall person, for a seated person, and even for our cat with the smaller peepholes at the bottom of the door. Our thresholds are only 1/2 of an inch in terms of their depth, so I don't have to do a wheelie or have a bump as I come and go into the home. As we come into the kitchen, some of the features that we're looking for is the independence and ease of use by everyone and the safety. Let me share with you some of the particular features of the home. We have multiple heights of counters. We have a center island with 3 different heights, and then we have the perimeter counters. The perimeter counter heights are 34 inches, which was a compromising height. I'm only 4'1" from a seated position. My husband, Mark, is 6'4". So when we selected the 34-inch perimeter counters, that was a good compromise. We also decided to lower the height of the wall cabinets. Normally, the space between the countertop and the bottom of the wall cabinet is 18 inches. What we did is lowered it to a 14-inch so that we have a little bit more observation and a little bit more reach into those wall cabinets so that I can reach at least the contents on that lower shelf. The distance from the edge of the counter to the back wall is a 24 3/4 inch. And you can see there that the outlets for the electric are reachable from a seated position. We also have a 9x6 toe kick throughout the kitchen, giving me a lot more room. As you can see on that inset picture, that was my previous house with the smaller toe kick, and I was scraping it quite a bit with my wheelchair. But now I can do a front approach with my wheelchair because the footrest now slides under that 9x6 toe kick, giving me great access from a front approach instead of always going to a side approach. Our microwave and oven are under the center island at a very convenient reachable height. They also both have side hinge doors. The oven on the right is our standard convection oven, our electric oven, and that's the unusual feature. You don't see many ovens with side hinge doors. However, on microwaves, on the one on the left, you find side hinges quite a bit. The knee space was critical under the cooktop so that I could have plenty of room in the width as well as the depth to get under the cooktop and be able to cook at ease. Also notice the controls are at the front, so I don't have to reach over for selecting the cooktop controls. A closer look, we have an in-counter steamer and pasta cooker. We also have a pot filler there so we can get water right there at the cooktop, making that very convenient. You'll notice the fan and light controls are at waist level. That makes that easier for me so that I have access to that. The knee space under the sink is very adequate so that I can roll under. I have lever handles on all the faucets and a pull-down faucet, making that very accommodating. The dishwasher has been raised, making it a lot easier so that we can get to the dishes. We have a 16-inch raised dishwasher here. This has been accommodating for everyone so that people don't have to bend down as far as they get things in and outside of the dishwasher. Into the bathroom, this photo is of our powder room. The features that we were looking for are on the screen, having natural daylight with lots of abilities throughout the bathrooms. We have motion sensors in the powder room so the lights will go on. We have lots of independence and safety built into this room. We're going to take another look at a master bathroom. Here we're looking at the master bathroom from the master bedroom, noticing we have pocket doors throughout with 36-inch openings. We also have very level thresholds so that you go from the hardwood flooring into the ceramic and there is no bump there. Using hard surfaces throughout the house with hardwood and ceramic has made life easier in a wheelchair. As we look at the curbless shower when it was under construction, here is a photograph showing the plywood grab bar reinforcements on the wall, as well as the red area where the 2x8 reinforcement was placed for the shower seat. The green area, the square, is where the soap niche was recessed into the wall. You can also see in that curbless shower we have natural light from a glass block wall. The closer look when the shower was finished, you now can see with the shower seat that was installed on that wall, plus the grab bar and the lever handle faucet with the adjustable height nozzle and the ergonomic shower chair. This is the area where I take a shower from a seated position. We have a close-up here of the curbless shower floor. The floor has all been slanted to the back where we have a channel drain. The floor is ceramic, no slip, and this channel drain has worked well, removing water. A little close-up here, of course, this photo is of my husband. We had to edit this one quite a bit. But as he was showering, he made the comment that this is a balance bar, the grab bar. It was helpful for him, too. He uses another station as he takes a shower from a different position. So we have 2 units in that large curbless shower. Our toilets throughout the home are comfort height, anywhere from 17 to 19 inches from the floor to the toilet seat. They've been installed 18 inches from the sidewall so that we could put the grab bars in and make those accessible. Some of them are dual flush, so we're saving water. Our water use is from about a gallon of water per flush. The master bathroom has a whirlpool tub. We put a large decking around it. It's 18 inches so that it is easy for me to sit on. The decking is also the height of my wheelchair seat, so it's easy for me to transfer. I have enough mobility in my legs to actually transfer onto the master bathroom decking and then hold on to the integrated grab bars as I lower myself in. We do have a handheld shower on that so that it's easier for me to rinse my hair as well as clean the whirlpool. And we have lever handles on that faucet. Photographed together, Mark at 6'4", I'm at 4'1", just to give you some sense of scale of our height differences and seeing that we have to have multiple heights on the vanities. I've got the knee space under mine. Taking a little closer look, we were very surprised that the height difference was not that large. It was 33 inches from the floor to the top of the counter for myself, 35 inches for Mark. Even though there was a tremendous height difference, it didn't make that large of an impact. We can also point out the hardware throughout the home, making this very easy for people with paralysis or arthritis to use the hardware on all the cabinetry. As we look at the most popular room in the house based on our visitors, it is our wardrobe combined laundry room. It is as large as our bedroom, and we're seeing the features with the motion sensor, with the natural daylight from the skylight and the tall windows. This is an area where all the clothing is stored, where the laundry is done, where we pack and unpack everything on trips. As we're looking a little closer, you can see that there's 2 heights of closet rods. Mark takes the taller ones, I take the shorter ones, and absolutely have a wonderful countertop so that I can put all of my clothes there to sort and to fold on laundry day, as well as putting luggage there. We were at the goal of having 50% accessible shelving in this room as well as the kitchen, and we definitely achieved that by making sure there were some low shelves available to us. Another closer look at this is our front-loaded washer and dryer, making that easier. They're on pedestal drawers with storage underneath. We have a full-length mirror, making that easy for everyone, and a little low hanging rod to the right. When things come out of the dryer, I can hang them there to dry. As well as on the left, you can see there's a sink with roll-under space, so I can do hand washing. I also have available the opportunity to come to your conferences to give you more information about the Universal Design Living Laboratory. I am available nationwide and have traveled extensively sharing my message. So if any of you have conferences, have classes coming up, would like to invite me as your speaker, I'd be honored to come to any of your presentations. My business website is rosemariespeaks.com. So if you're curious about my business as a speaker, you can go to rosemariespeaks.com. I hope this has given you a new perspective about the homes that you're listing, the homes that you're looking for your current clients, as well as in the future. As we look at a new set of eyes, looking at, does the home accommodate the family, the individual, or even yourself for the next home you go into, to say what features would make this home more livable for a lifetime. I hope that today's presentation has at least been a starter for you to understand how these features will work. The Universal Design Living Laboratory website is at udll.com. You can reach me through rosemary@udll.com. That is my email address, or you can dial me in Columbus at 614-471-6100. So with that, that is the information about the Universal Design Living Laboratory. I've noticed that there's been some chat here, whether we've had some technical difficulties for the webinar. So I'm not sure if we're currently on. Let me know, Alyssa, if we are currently on screen.
All right, we are currently still up and running. I know a lot of our attendees have had some issues with visuals during the presentation. I apologize for that, everyone. Not really sure what's going on there, but just wanted to remind you all that this webinar is recorded and will be archived on the website for your viewing later, so the slides and everything should be available there. It just sounds like we had some slide visual issues, but it sounds like everyone was able to hear the audio mostly okay. But thank you again, Rosemary, for a great presentation. We do have a couple of questions coming in, so I would like to go ahead and switch over to the Q&A portion. So remember, everyone, if you have a question, go ahead and type it in the Q&A chat box, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, Rosemary, our first question is, do you have any market statistics on the incremental sale price possible for a home with universal design features?
Yes, in fact, this new study is in the toolkit. It was a study done this summer in Ohio on the visitability features of a home and the perceived value, and they surveyed builders, remodelers, and real estate professionals. This was a study in Ohio, and the features of visitability are the ability to get into the house from at least one entrance in a wheelchair or in a walker, meaning a no-step entrance, and having wide enough doors to get in, wide enough hallways to get in, and at least one bathroom with a toilet in it that was accessible on the main floor. Those were the visitability features. This study revealed that a home with these visitability features in the perceived value by the study was a $15,000 increment, and that the houses would sell faster. That's a significant change.
All right, thank you, Rosemary. Our next question is, do you have any tips or tricks on how the Realtors can encourage new home builders to do more in terms of universal design?
The home builders need to be reminded that they have to meet the market needs. And as they think about the market and think about their existing home plans, they need to make some minor modifications to them. So the message needs to go out that the population is asking for these features. The builders aren't going to respond to making these changes until their clients ask for the changes. So I can't stress enough to get your clients to have some communication with these builders and remodelers, indicating that we want these features in our remodeling project or in our new home, and help them to understand that it is a business sense, that the market is out there and the profitability and the ability to rise above the competition is there now.
All right, next question. Do you have a one-level new home universal build design available for sale at all?
No, I do not. Our home is the only home we will ever build. And I told my husband, I hope we never have to sell it. This is our home for our lifetime.
All right, next question. What is approximately the additional percentage of building costs to conform to the universal design living?
There has been a lot of studies looking at, does it cost more to make a home visitable? And we have seen in some of the communities where the ordinances and the building codes have been enforced, there are several locations throughout the country where you must build a visitable home. Any new home has to be visitable, and I've seen data saying from the builders it didn't cost them any more to put in a step-free entrance. Once they figured out how to do it, it did not cost them more. Now, as we look at putting in a wider door, a 36-inch door, compared to maybe a 28-inch door, when you go on the wholesale market and look at the cost of doors, that may be a $5 differential. So as you're building a home from the beginning with the wider doors or the curbless showers or the no-step entrances, some of these features may cost a little, but it's surprising how little it is. For example, if you're looking for a toilet that's the comfort height, which is a little taller and easier so you don't have to squat as much, making it easier to get on and off, you may pay an extra $50 a toilet for those taller ones in some communities. In some, it's the same price. Buying a lever handle for a doorknob or buying the easier hardware for the cabinets, there's no additional cost. So it's a matter of looking at the space and utilizing the space, especially in the kitchen and the bathroom. That's where universal design features need to be more specifically included. So you need not build a bigger home. It's just a matter of rethinking the floor plan so that these rooms have the accommodated space in the toileting, the shower area, and the area in the kitchen.
All right. Next question. Is there a resource that you know of to find local contractors to help modify existing homes?
Yes, and in my toolkit I give those references, but I'll give them to you now. The National Association of Home Builders, NAHB.com, the National Association of Home Builders has a Certified Aging in Place Specialist designation, the CAPS, C-A-P-S. So if you go to the National Association of Home Builders and you search on CAPS or Certified Aging in Place Specialist, you will be able to search in the country who are the people who are certified through them. So that would be one suggestion through the builders.
All right, next question. Given the trend towards smart electric and gas utility meters and new devices being designed to use smart grid utility information streams, what can designers do to accommodate disabled customers in their use?
As we look at the controls, we look at the universal design of the control in terms of the readability and the intuitiveness in terms of the contrast of the colors on the remote controls. We look also at where the controls are mounted on the wall for universal design. So it does me no good to have a smart thermostat if I can't see it from a seated position. So we have to be aware of where we mount the controls on the wall so that people who are seated can also view these controls. And as we look at the remote controls that are available on these smart appliances, so that the letters are large enough and the backlighting is bright enough and the intuitiveness of using it, rather than something that's going to be very complex and very difficult to read with someone that might have a little lower vision.
All right, next question. Some homes that could be used for the universal design are 2 stories. Are there any sort of features that would allow someone who is disabled to ascend to the 2nd story that are part of the universal design?
Well, there's lots of features. An elevator is the first choice if there is room to put an internal elevator in, but oftentimes you aren't going to find that in an existing home. My recommendation if you're building a new 2-story home is to put in stackable closets, one on the 2nd floor and one on the 1st floor, that is built to the specifications of an elevator for future installation. But if an elevator is not the solution, there's lots of other stair lifts, depending on the design of that staircase and the width of that staircase. There are companies who do manufacture lifts that would transport a person up to the 2nd floor and back down again.
Great. All right, next question. So there are some things available such as electric adjustable height desks for businesses. Are there any kitchen or bathroom adjustable height counters for the home?
Yes, they are, and we did explore that. There are motorized cabinets out there on the marketplace where you push a button and the cabinet goes up and down. We've looked at them and said, you know, we probably would be arguing about that as a couple. As he does dishes, he would raise it up, and then as I do dishes, I would raise it back down again. Plus the complication of the maintenance and the possibility it would break, the mechanical nature, and the cost. So we ruled that one out and said, let's just compromise. 34 inches, I can deal with it. Mark, you can deal with it. We will not be putting in an adjustable height countertop. That was our decision.
Great. All right. Everyone feel free to keep sending in your questions. At this time, though, just got one in. Does your electric or gas utility provide you any special accommodations for the use of their services?
No, they do not. We have the same price as everyone else in terms of our electric bills and our gas bills, our natural gas. We do have a solar panel on our home so that we are generating probably an estimate of 10% of our electric needs are being generated from our solar panel. We're also a passive solar home with 6-foot overhangs, so we're trying to accommodate us by utilizing the sun's energy to heat the house in the wintertime and yet keep it cooler in the summer with the overhang. So we're trying to use our electric and our natural gas very efficiently.
All right, it does not look like we have any more questions coming in at this time. So we can go ahead and close up. So thank you again, Rosemary, for presenting today's webinar. It was very, very helpful and very interesting, and we thank you for all of your work that you do for this. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. Again, this webinar will be archived to the SRES members only website, hopefully later this afternoon, if not early tomorrow morning. So you will be able to view. For all those that had any visual problems, we apologize. The slides will be available along with the presentation in our archives. Again, thank you, Rosemary, and